This is our year, and how do we start it? Small steps, great distances. Come on, my boy Blake said it. Small steps, great distances. I'm not saying it's gonna be easy, but this is the year that we don't watch other people do it. This is our year, and how do we start it? Small steps, are going great distances. Come on, my boy Blake said it.
What's going on? What's going on, everybody? Go ahead, drop I'm on in the Discord chat. If you haven't already, let's go ahead and get this thing started with today's morning motivation. Let me see if I can pin myself on here. All right, let me go ahead and make sure that is pinned correctly. Spotlight. There we go. How you guys doing? Let's go ahead and read through the I'm so happy and grateful nows. Definitely have a great morning motivation plan for you guys today. I got my notes right here. So let's go ahead and get this thing started. I'm going to go ahead through the chat, see what you guys are happy and grateful for. We only got 2 people that's happy and grateful today. All right. Look, how do we start every morning? With an attitude of gratitude. So if you haven't already, go ahead, take 10, 15 seconds to write what you're happy and grateful now for in the chat as we start the day. Because again, you want to start today with an attitude of gratitude. You don't want to just get on this call just to feel good and then to go about your day. You want to actually be intentional about writing what it is that you're happy and grateful now for. So let's go ahead and read what we have here. I'm so happy and grateful now for a new day and for new blessings, right? And for the right people joining my business. I'm so happy and grateful now for this opportunity and for growth. I'm so happy and grateful now that God had to break me in order to make me. Ooh, say that. Supernatural growth in all aspects will take place as a result of consistently planting seeds, and I'm blessed to be surrounded by the success within Retired in 365. I'm so happy and grateful now for another week to share in the massive trading opportunity. I'm so happy and grateful for God giving us all another day. I'm so happy and grateful that I'm going to make a success. I'm so happy and grateful now for another year. Birthdays are a privilege. Hey, shout out everybody. Happy birthday to Kiera for her birthday. Everybody drop some happy birthdays in the chat as well. I'm so happy and thankful to be here to celebrate mine with my twin brother. Happy and grateful now for a new opportunity every single morning. I'm happy and grateful now for another day to live in the purpose that God has for me. All right, so keep the happy and birthdays coming in. Keep the I'm so happy and grateful nows coming in. You definitely don't want to skip that. So happy and grateful now that I woke up with my eyes open to what I truly want to happen in the future. I'm so happy and grateful now for the ability to help others and for myself to succeed in our goals. All right, perfect. Keep those coming in. Again, this is for you. It's not for me. This is your happy and grateful now. This is the things that you want to keep in mind as you're going throughout your day, right? Because that's going to be the thing that pushes you. You know, we talk about dedication over motivation. That dedication is you understanding what it is that you're working towards, right? Because if you don't have anything you're working towards, if you don't have any reason that you're doing this for, you're going to stop. And that's in anything, right? Not just this, that's anything in your life. You're going to stop short of whatever that goal is if you don't have a reason why for doing it. And that's really the most important thing when you start anything, right? Think about it. Why do you go to your job every single day? Right? Because you know, if I don't show up for that job, what's going to happen? I'm not going to be able to pay my bills. I'm not going to be able to take care of my kids. I'm not going to have that check coming in. Whatever that thing might be, right? It's a guarantee that at least if I show up, I'm going to go ahead and get some type of result. So you got to have that same energy for you and yourself, right? Whether that's in trading, whether that's in the business, whether that's in your personal life as far as activity goes and eating right, whatever that stuff is, you got to have that same mentality. If I don't show up for myself, nobody else is going to show up for me. And I'm not going to get the results of this that I truly want. Now, there's a couple things I want to go over today. So I want to talk fast because I got, you know, every one of these calls we come, basically we're bringing to you all of the knowledge, all of the things that we've gained throughout these calls over the weeks. And, you know, I'm always on calls. I'm always listening and learning and taking notes and making sure I'm going out and applying those notes as well and making sure that you guys have the same information and access to that same information that we get access to. Now, one of the things I definitely want to talk about, which one do I want to start with? All right, I'll start over here, right? I'll start right here because it's so many gems in this thing. Like I got, y'all, I be having notes for days and I just be like, piecing it together, trying to figure out, all right, how are we going to work this week? What's going to be the main message? So what we're going to talk about is how, okay. Yeah, let's go there. Let's go there. Life happens at the end. Okay. Life happens and ends up robbing you of any trust. Okay. How do I want to do this? This is good, y'all. This is good. So we'll go from the message from yesterday, right? The message from service yesterday was talking about don't kill him again. And it was talking about the cross. It was talking about Jesus. But what we're going to specifically talk about from what I got from that sermon, right, is how some of the greatest, right, non-believers were former believers. Some of the biggest non-believers were former believers, right? And I like to relate everything back to the business, because we here for the business, we here for trading, we here for what it is that reaching our personal goals. So I'm gonna relate that to what it is that we do, right? Some of the biggest people that talk about Forex this and Forex that, and it's a scam, and they gonna take your money, and IMF. Some of the biggest people that talk about that were people that were people that joined and then they left. Were people that joined, they didn't take advantage of what they had access to, right? And then they went on their own way, telling other people, trying to discourage others for the blessing that they had that they didn't take full advantage of, right? And then when they see you winning, it's a problem with you. It's not a problem with them, right? They want to tell you about why it won't work for you, but really they're not talking about why it won't work for you. They're talking about why it didn't work for them, right? So you got to sometimes be careful about the people that you're listening to and the people that are pouring into you, because they're not even telling you really what they think about you. They're just speaking from their personal experience, right? They're saying, oh, that thing won't work. Oh, I lost a lot of money doing this, or they didn't really help me out. Well, it was the people you was connected to. It was the way that you plugged in or didn't plug in, right? So it's so many factors that go into that stuff, but it's usually the biggest people talking down is the people that was already in, right? And I want you guys to think about this. Sometimes in your life, you can get to a place where you're frustrated, right? You're frustrated with your results. You're frustrated with all the things that are going on, right? And you got to ask yourself, okay, we say this all the time, am I really doing everything that they told me to do? Am I really putting myself in a position where I can really win? If this was really for me, why would I be having to separate my time like this? Why would I have lost that trade, right? Maybe I lost a couple of trades in a row. This really isn't for me, right? I've been talking to people, I talked to this many people here and there, but they didn't join, so I'm not going to do it no more, right? Not realizing that next person could have been your breakthrough, right? Not realizing that you did it, but you didn't really do it the way that it was supposed to be done, right? Not realizing that maybe you actually did do it the way it was supposed to be done. Because there's people out there that you follow the blueprint. You did it the way it was supposed to be done, but it's not that it didn't work. It worked, but because it sorted the people that weren't supposed to be here. But you're going through the test. You're going through the test to get you to the part where you can have that testimony, because you had to hear all those no's. So you know what a real yes looks like. And you know how to work with somebody, right? That person had to leave your business for you to know how to better handle the next person, for you to figure out what you could do better in the future, right? And you got to really take a look at that. I was listening to Chairman 750, Matt Rosa. He was talking about, he said it took him 7 years to become an overnight success. He said, yeah, it's good. Me and Jason, we hit Chairman 750 in 63 days. I'm Chairman 10 in 63 days, right? They got started 63 days. They basically locked themselves in a room, 12 hours day shifts, right? 12 hours at a time, talking to people, going through, doing all the things that they had to do. But it took them not only all the prior years in the industry, right, of losing. They weren't making anything. I say first 1 or 2 years, he didn't make more than $600 a month, right? 2 years, 3 years later, he didn't make more than $2,000 a month, right? But then 63 days in this business, he hit Chairman 10. But now when you look at it, that 63 days seems, oh my gosh, he hit in 63 days. But what most people will look at, well, I didn't hit chairman in 63 days, but you didn't stay in your room for 12 hours a day for 63 days to have the results it is that he had. So you can't expect those results, right? When you look at Chairman 10, Paris Simmons in 90 days, right? You didn't stay in the trenches. You weren't calling your team. You weren't doing the things that they were doing to get those results. So you can't expect to have those same results. When you see people posted in the group, again, shout out to the birthday girl, Kiera, right? It was a couple weeks ago. Somebody asked, hey, how did you get the result? Oh yeah, shout out to Matt Rosie. He was at GoPro. He did get to speak. He mentioned that on the live. He said, 7 years ago, I was on GoPro. He said, I was one of the people, nobody would have noticed me. I wasn't anybody special. I was there and I wasn't having results. He said, I've been going this thing every year, and 7 years later, I now have an opportunity to speak in front of 40,000 people, right? And share my story. Now as one of the top earners in the entire industry, right? But that started from a guy that was making $600 a month. It started from a guy that was making $2,000 a month for years, right? It wasn't like an overnight thing, right? But back to, listen. The stuff that you're doing right now, the seeds that you're planting, you have a couple ways to look at those seeds. You can consider yourself buried, right? When people throw dirt on you, when people don't, see your vision, you can feel like people are throwing dirt on you. You're going underground. You're getting buried. But you got to understand that it's up to you whether you're buried or whether you're planted, right? Because when you're buried, you're dead. When you're buried, you're not coming up. There's going to be no results from what it is that you're doing. But when you're planted, right, to a seed, that dirt has nutrients. That dirt has a purpose for its life, and it's going to allow it to grow, right, and become what it truly is meant to be. The seed loves the dirt. It loves all the things that are down there because it needs that to get to the next level. But a coffin, right, it's going to stay there. When somebody goes in the ground, it's not planted, it's buried. It's just there. It's done, right? So you got to ask yourself, am I being planted or am I being buried in what I'm doing right now? But again, I got to make sure that I'm on the right path to be doing the things that I need to do to get those results. That's where I was going with it, right? I got to understand that to get the results it is that other people have, right? For myself, I'm not doing it to get their results. I'm doing it to get my results. But I know that there's a certain order that things have to go. I know if I want to make an extra $1,000, an extra $3,000, an extra $5,000 in my trade account, I got to follow whatever that plan is, right? I got to make sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing to get to that level. Because if I say, hey, look, well, I see these people having success and I see somebody like Kiera having amazing results in her trade account, right? Like I see she's flipping these small accounts. She's using these lot sizes. She's doing this. She's doing that. How are you doing it? And I love her response when she put it in. She said, I stay on Go Live and in the academy 7-8 hours, right? She said, I stay watching the videos. I stay practicing. I practice the strategies that I'm trying to do. I don't just watch the video. I actually use it. I watch it, then I use it. Then I watch it, then I use it. Then I use it some more until I get the results that I want. Then I can go do it in my live account, right? So when you see people having these results, it's not a matter of, is it easy? Is it hard? Is it something that I can do? It's a matter of time. And time just stands for things I must experience. So often we look at time like, well, it'll happen in its own time. And I think sometimes that people misunderstand that time piece. Because when somebody says it's going to happen when it's supposed to happen for you, right? I understand it, right? But I also understand that you can compress time. Because if time stands for things that I must experience, I can compress the things I must experience, right? I can't compress an actual clock, but if I need to talk to 500 people before I get Platinum 600. That, hey, where I come from, I'm not a reputable person. People don't, really follow me like that. So I need to really, really build and grow my talking skills. I need to, let people see this is really what I do. So that, let's say that magic number for me is 500, right? If I never get to that 500 number, I never had enough time. Now that 500 number could have took me a day. It could have took me a week. It could have took me a year. It could have took me 5 years, right? But you actually control when you hit that number. You don't control the time when those people join and all of that stuff, but you control when you talk to those 500 people. And that's the part of time that you actually have control over, right? So don't let anybody tell you that, hey, it's going to happen in its own time. And you take that to mean I can take my time and go slow at this. Not if you want the results. You can go slow if you want slow results, right? But if you're saying I want results in X number of time, again, you don't control the outcome, right? You don't control when the actual number hits the back office. You don't control when that number hits your trade account, but you do control, right? You do control the activities that lead you there that are going to get you where you need to go, right? So let's say, hey, you're based on you, because again, everybody has a different insides, right? But as far to mean, if we're talking about trading, your magic number for numbers of hours in the academy, you might need 300 hours in the academy before you get your switch, right? Let's say that magic number is 300 hours for you, right? Somebody else, that magic number might be 50 hours. But guess what? You can still have your breakthrough and have your 6-figure, 7-figure trading account before the person that only needs 50 hours to get their breakthrough. Why? Because that person that needs 50 hours, they're only doing 15 minutes a day. They're only doing 2 to 3 days a week. So even though you need more hours to hit your breakthrough, right? It looked like it worked faster for you because you compressed time. Because those things that you must experience to get those results that you really wanted, you got them because every day you were, 5 hours here, 3 hours there. Hey, I didn't have time today, but I'm going to put in 8 hours today, right? So you had your result faster than they did, even though that person might have technically got it faster than you. But they didn't put together those things that they must experience. Is that making sense? Drop some ones in the chat if this is making sense, right? So you got to understand that those things that you must experience for your life, right? You got to go through them. And you choose how quickly or how slowly you go through those. So never look at somebody else's success, right, as something that you can't have. You just got to make sure that I need to put in the work for what it is that I want, right? I got to put that work in. And then I have to be patient, and I have to know and understand that as long as I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to be doing, that the results is going to happen, right? And then this took me to where are we talking about? He talked about let me scroll down. Let me scroll down real quick. So he talked about the different warning passages. Hold on, let me see where I want to go from this, because I really went all the way left. But here we go. He talks about drifting, right? He talks about drifting being a slow process, because he said, be careful of life pressures, right? Because you're definitely going to have some pressures in your life. You're definitely going to have things that are going to deter you and try to pull you away from what it is that you want, right? So we talked about those things that I must experience, but what we didn't talk about is that while you're going through that, right? Guess what? There's going to be friends calling your phone trying to hang out. There's going to be that your favorite show on TV, and you're going to be like, ooh, I really want to watch that. You're going to see a commercial pop up, right? That new song's going to come out. The new album's going to come out. You're going to be contemplating, do I want to listen to that? Or, right? So now, those things that you must experience, they're getting delayed because you're drifting, right? You're drifting because of real things that are real in your life, right? Life is going to happen, but you have to be strong enough. You have to have that willpower. You have to be dedicated to what it is that you really want, to know that I control this time and things that I must experience, because at the end of the day, for me to get where I want to go, I have to put that stuff off right now. But if I don't put it off, it's going to take a little bit longer, right? And then he talked about, where we going to go with this? Hold on. Let me we gonna redo this right here. He talked about the object of a fixed fight, right? The object of a fixed fight. Where I want to go with this. Y'all ever watch? And it's funny because I watched like 3 things yesterday and they all talked about the exact same. It's like perfect alignment. Like you watching stuff and then this person talk about it, and that person talking about it, and that person talk about it. It's like, yeah, all right, I feel you. I got the message. They talked about a fixed fight, and in boxing, and don't quote me on this. I'm assuming that what they said was correct, but he talked about a fixed fight in boxing, right? And y'all drop some 5s in the chat if I'm saying the right thing after I say it. Just let me know if that's how it works. If that's not how it works, somebody correct me. I don't know. But they say how it used to work for a fixed fight, right? Is somebody, one camp would pay the judge, right? They would pay the judge of the fight. So the fighter in that scenario, right, wouldn't necessarily be the best person. You can look at the person and be like, yeah, they're not going to win that fight, right? It's like you versus Mayweather. Like, you just know, it's like, yeah, he about to lose. But in a fixed fight, what's going to happen is, because you paid the judge, it's a couple things that's going to happen. Now, the judge can't blatantly say that you won if you get knocked out, right? If you get knocked out, it's very clear that you lost the fight. But in a fixed fight, what you have to do is you got to keep getting up. All you have to do is be standing at the end of the bell, and the judge is going to call it in your favor, right? No matter how many hits you took, no matter how many blows there were, you're going to win the fight by default as long as you can still stand up. Every time you get a right hook to the face and you fall, it's up to you to say, all right, how much time is on the clock? All right, I just got to hang in there. Because you know at the end of the day that you're going to win the fight. As long as you don't stay down, right? Think about that with what we do here, right? Drop some 5s in the chat if that's accurate. If that's accurate, I don't know. If anybody knows boxing, who cares? It makes sense. The point is, right? As long as you keep standing up, as long as you keep getting up, as long as you keep fighting, you're gonna win. It's a fixed fight for what you're going through right now. It's fixed. This Forex stuff is fixed. This business is fixed. You just gotta be here long enough for it to work for you. You just gotta keep getting up when you hear no. You just gotta keep going when people leave your business. You just gotta keep trading when after you blow that account. You got to get that residual so you can keep trading when you blow that account. Because you got to have some money to put back in the account, right? But you just got to keep going, because whether it takes 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, guess what? If it took me 10 years to have $1 million day, I know wholeheartedly that I could work for the next 10 years for anybody. I don't care where I worked. I don't care if I was making $100,000 a year. I'm not making $1 million in a day. It's not happening on the job. It's not happening. So you got to, again, go through that time, the things that I must experience, but you got to keep getting up. You got to keep going. You can't give up. Imagine if you gave up and there was 5 seconds left on the clock. You was this close to winning the fight. But just because you bruised up a little bit, just because some things was happening in your life, you decided to quit. Not realizing, and this is the worst part. You lay down, the fight's over. You look up, and then you see the bell on the clock ring. And now you're thinking to yourself, all I had to do was stand up. Imagine the people that left this bit. Imagine anybody that was involved in this 6 months ago, 8 months ago, 2 years ago. And they look back now like, all I had to do was stay down, right? Think about David and Bryce Thompson and even Paris and Charles, everybody, right? Think about the people that were connected to these individuals 1, 2, 3 years ago that left. There's people in this that was in the company that got 80,000, 100,000 in volume, just there. But it's not benefiting them because they left. Imagine if you left a business that had Chairman 750s in it. And you look back at that 2 years later, seeing everybody that would have been under you making $1 million a month. How would you feel? Knowing that all you had to do at that point was build 2 legs. How would you really feel? No, all you had to do was pay about $200 a month and you be set for life. But because you quit, it's just there. And I don't know what those people are doing now. But imagine how that would feel. Imagine somebody that you brought in. Imagine somebody that you introduced to this. You quit, they go off to be a multi-millionaire trader. All you had to do was stick around, right? They would have gave you some signals. They would have helped you figure it out. You brought them in. You don't have to have the results. You gotta be the one to find the people that's gonna help you get the results, because y'all all gonna make each other better. Think about it. If you bring in a millionaire trader, you know what that means? That millionaire trader would not have known about this if you didn't bring them in. So they needed you as much as you need them. That person that's gonna have that 6-7 figure store, they need you as much as you need them, because when they come in and they start killing it, guess what? Who they gonna help? The person that helped them. Now you got a community. That's what community really is all about. It's helping the next person. All you got to do is keep going. It's okay if other people get it before you, right? But don't settle in the fact that I just don't get it yet. You still got to be putting in that work. You still got to experience those things. You still got to put in your time, right? But also, so you can't just be lazy, but you got to also be around. You still got to be here, right? You can't just not be throwing punches. Matt put it this way on his IG live yesterday. He said, so for those that don't know, he likes to box, right? And he said, like, I'm an amateur boxer. I'm not a professional or nothing like that. But one of the gyms he trains at, I want to say it was in Miami. He said that it's some real professional boxers in there, like semi-pro or pro, whatever the different levels are. I don't know. He saw one of the guys, I guess one of the guys invited him into the ring. They started sparring. He got his butt whooped. He said, that's cool. But he said, you know, the difference between me and most people, he said, I treat sports, I treat all that stuff the same way I treat this business. He said, when I got up, right, before he left, he asked him questions, right? He knows the power of mentorship. He said, what could I have done better? He didn't just get beat and stay down. He said, what could I have done better so I can improve for next time, right? You got to understand that you can take a lesson from every loss that you take in your life, but it's going to stay a loss if you don't learn a lesson from it. It's okay if you lose people. It's okay if people say no. It's okay if you lose a trade, But if you don't learn from it, it's just a loss, right? If y'all was on DeLorean yesterday on Market Mastery, right? Chris Terry's call, Tyrone talked about that. You're gonna take losses, but you gotta understand the losses that you take. Y'all been here long enough to listen to Stevenson Lindor, right? He'll talk more about the losses and more about back testing on why he lost the trade than the trades that we won. Why? Because if you understand why you lost, you're gonna win more in the future. But you know what everybody wants to do? Oh my gosh, I won this trade. That's great. But why did you lose that next trade? Right? You won 100, but then you lost 100 on the next one. And you don't even know why. You don't even know why. Learn why. That'll help you the next time you do it. Right? And then you can work on the things that are the reason why. He said in that story, he said the guy said you have a really great, haymaker, really great punch. But what happened was every time he would swing, after the swing, he didn't put his guard back up. So the guy caught on to that. So even though he had a really good swing, what happened? The guy just had to be far enough to not get hit. And then he coming back, rocking his jaw every single time. Every single time. So you might be strong in some areas, but because you don't recognize your weakness, they're going to use your strength against you. Oh, that's how the market makers work. You real good at getting that entry. You real good at, I don't know, holding your trades for a long time, but you never move your stop loss. So what happens? You start losing. So you got to understand that in everything that you're doing, right? Everything that you do, you got to learn from those lessons. You got to make sure that you put in that time in. You got to make sure that the people that you following, right, have the results that you want, but you also take the time out of those people that had those results, and you got to learn from them. And then you take that loss as a lesson, and you improve on it every single day. All right. So that's what we got for y'all. Look, was there anything else I had in here? Hold on. It was too many gems that I had in here. It was just, whew. All right, that's all I got. I ain't gonna keep going. What time is it? Oh yeah, Millie Mill's about to come on. All right, y'all. Look at this. If you don't know, Cash Trap 2.0 is out. Cash Trap 2.0 is here. And what I want to say is, if you don't know about Cash Trap 2.0, go and rewatch Matthew Thayer's live. He just went over the entire thing. Because Money in Minutes just got changed. Just know it's over. It's over. It's been over, but it's over. Make sure you're making this Money in Minutes. Make sure you plugged into these live calls, because the educators,